what are we doing? Are we gonna sit in the corner all night? It's your birthday.
I'm 30 years old. I wear a Hawaiian shirt to work.
My boyfriend dumped me in a text.
What's that, stuffing on fire?
Burn, burn, burn in the fire.
It began with the conversation with my writing partner, David. We were trying to figure out some way to put our sort of character-driven, more subtle indie movie sensibilities into a big cinematic, fun movie experience, realizing that otherwise we'll just sort of end up in the, bowels of Netflix, never to be heard from again, like everything else we've ever made. And so we started taking walks and talking about ideas. We had some really terrible pitches for big high-concept movies. One of them was called Ghost Hookup. So just to give you an idea of how bad. And then one day we were sort of sitting around thinking about our love for action movies and our love for female friendship movies. And one of us said, what if you dropped The Girls from Broad City into a Bourne movie? And although our sensibilities are neither quite Broad City nor Bourne, we decided to use that as the template for two funny regular girls in an extreme situation, which is what the movie's about.
I know you're a spy.
It's a long story, and I'm going to explain everything.
It's in your forehead.
Some bad people are after me, and now they're after you.
We wanted someone who is so kind of lovable that even when she's being insecure, even when she's being neurotic, even when she's making a fool of herself, you always like her, root for her, and feel like you relate to her. And Mila is that. Like, she's so likable. Guys like her, girls like her. She sort of feels like she could be your friend. She feels like someone who's very comfortable in her own skin, which is such a likable quality. So as insecure as she may play, you do feel like she's grounded. You don't feel like it's this like anti-feminist girl falling apart thing ever with Mila. So she was kind of the ideal fit for the part. Kate plays Morgan, who's very theatrical, but ultimately, we wanted Morgan to have some core emotional, center to her, where she has an insecurity that her theatrics are too much for people, and that people are going to find her overwhelming or annoying. And I think a lot of people who are very performative in that way have that fear. And so we sort of felt like that would appeal to Kate's sensitive side, and her, Kate is a very introspective, thoughtful person, so we knew that she would enjoy the opportunity to play like that layer underneath the broader comedic stuff.
We just want to talk about Drew Thayer. He's your boyfriend, right?
Drew is CIA.
I'm sorry, what?
Justin Theroux plays Drew, and for the Drew role, we really wanted the fine balance of liking him enough that you're not judging Mila for having dated him, being invested in him, and you're not kind of looking at her like, oh, you pathetic woman, why did you like this guy? So we needed someone with charm, charisma, depth, intelligence, and Justin is all of those things. But we also wanted to create a sense of mystery around him, and we needed a little bit of a darkness, which we knew from The Leftovers and everything else that he had. So sort of the combination of charm, humor, and something a little bit opaque about him, and Justin just naturally brings all of that. And the other thing that's wonderful about Justin is that he's a writer too, and a comedy writer, having written Tropic Thunder and all these movies, so he had a lot of great ideas, but also no ego about those ideas. So he was happy to just be a team player and contribute as needed or not, or step back, and he was just lovely to work with and a filmmaker himself, so it was a pleasure to have him around.
What? You're the boss, and yet you have not sacrificed 1 ounce of femininity.
That is the Beyonce of the government.